Hey friends, I am here today with Garth Ward. I've known Garth for a couple of years now, right?
Jeez, I think it's been 4.
Yeah, okay. So
Four.
almost half a decade. And Garth is, well, he's a co-founder of Park Place Properties.
Yep.
So Garth started Park Place, of course, with his business partner, and they've grown massively. I mean, seeing your company grow just not just month over month, but year over year has been insane, right? See, like, because I remember when I met you first, you were in the Federal Way office.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So your office was in Federal Way. And now, how many branches do you guys have today?
We have 4.
4 branches. Okay.
And we have a 5th that is opening.
Fifth that is opening. Wow.
So we have a 5th one opening.
Talk to me about locations.
So, actually, fun fact: our Federal Way location was not the very first location. That was
Okay.
the second location. That
Okay.
We had.
Cool.
We actually had a Puyallup location before that.
Okay.
And it was smaller than this studio. Actually,
You told me
it
about
was.
that, yeah.
It was about 80 square feet. Then we started from that, and then once we had about 20, 25 agents, then we got our Federal Way location. From there, we ended up opening a Bellevue location because, well, Bellevue's an awesome area.
Bellevue.
Agents love to be in Bellevue. And to be honest, it really meshes with the quality of the brand and the marketing that we do. And then mix that with, just the growth that we saw. Then we ended up opening up an Olympia and a Spokane office.
Wow.
We actually have 2 locations in Spokane, but we call it one. So we have one in Spokane downtown and then one in Spokane Valley.
Okay.
And then right now we're working on opening up Seattle, which you'd think would be like the first one you
Yeah.
open, but
I'm guessing from a liability standpoint, cost, fees, and all that, it's probably not just pricey, but it's probably difficult dealing with the city of Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle's not easy in general as a whole.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's keep the boat easier to row at first. And honestly, the reason we went from Puyallup to Federal Way, we just looked at where all the agents hung their licenses.
Okay.
And we're like, well, apparently in South King, North Pierce, that whole generalized South Puget Sound area, most agents hang their license in Federal Way or Tacoma.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't want Tacoma to be our first office because
Yeah.
if you're in Tacoma, kind of pigeonholed into, Pierce County, independent brokerage.
Okay.
And that's not what we wanted to be. And so we landed on Federal Way because that's close enough inland that it's easy to pivot that into something that's connected to more of the hub.
Yeah, and it's nice because Federal Way is a really unique location, right, where you have even people that in Pierce County that are looking in like North Tacoma, North Pierce County, they'll go to Federal Way in that area to connect with realtors, connect with companies to do business with them because you're South King. So you're still in King County, right? So you get that South King, but you also are able to touch that really North Pierce County, which is fantastic.
Which is great. And the other thing is we knew that there was a little value arbitrage with the taxes.
Okay.
There's no city tax for the agents.
Okay.
And so what happens is if you actually have your license hanging in Seattle right now, and this is for all you agents, you actually pay city taxes, and it's about 1% of every deal of all of your money. And so when you hang your license in Federal Way, there is no city tax.
Wow.
And so that doesn't seem like a large difference to people.
Well, 1% could be a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it can. I mean, especially if you're doing massive amounts of business, and you could reallocate those funds for a lot of better purposes.
So you guys are gonna have 5 branches, right? Which is incredible, right? Again, since you guys started just a little over half a decade ago.
4 years ago.
4 years ago. So
4 years ago,
so not even half a
Not
decade.
even half
And
a
you guys are just growing massively. You guys have over 150 realtors, correct, that you're working with right now?
Yeah, I think it's about 150.
150. Okay, so 150 realtors that you guys are managing, and then on top of your growth, the 150 realtors, and then on top of everything as well. Do you do business right now still, or are you, or because I know 3-4 years ago, even 2.5 years ago, you were doing a lot of business.
Yeah.
But now are you? What's your focus right now?
Yes, I do business.
Okay.
I'd say, this year I will probably only land on 30 to 40 transactions.
Okay.
I don't want to say only like that, but
It's funny. You say only, but there's a lot of realtors right now. This for real estate agents and lenders, and they'll think, oh, if only I can close 40 deals a year, I would be set, right? But I mean, with your volume, of course, it makes sense.
That's with pulling back and not really focusing on the what I could have grown. Because our focus now is a little bit on a greater focus. It's more of a get all of our agents to produce more.
Yeah.
To me, I can look at it and say, Could I do 50 deals instead of 40 this year?
Yeah.
Absolutely, it wouldn't take that much
Yeah.
more time and attention. But would I rather do 10 extra deals of my own, or would I rather try to get every single one of our agents to do 1 to 2 extra deals each?
Yeah.
And so for me, that mission of 150 to 300 extra transactions
Yeah.
outweighs 10 for me.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, obviously the economics of that is different, but at the same time, we're impacting people's lives and we're able
Yeah.
to help them flourish and actually build in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Because unfortunately, it's not an easy industry to crack into in the first place.
Yeah.
And I think by way of just default, we've somehow become, I think, at least in our own minds, we're industry leaders for people that are under 30, 35 years old.
Yeah.
And so we're getting a lot of those younger agents that are coming in and saying, what do I do? How do I do it? What did you do?
Yeah.
Because quite
Why
frankly,
do you do what you do?
Why do you do
Yeah.
it? And then the reality is when you're out there and you're a new agent, there's very, very few agents that can actually explain how to build a business when you're young.
You know what's crazy? And I've seen this with offices when you because I know a lot of newer realtors. When I say newer, I say under 2 years in the business.
That's definitely newer, yeah.
And they'll go in and I'll have conversations. They'll say, you know, Terrace, if I go to my John L. Scott or Windermere or Keller Williams office or any office, and I will go in and I want to sit down and talk with a realtor that's been in business for 10 or 15 years, they'll talk to me, but they're not going to share any information, right? From a value standpoint. Like there's this almost like this weird mindset in real estate that if I tell you what I do, then you will take my business away from me, which I think is just silly. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you can't close every deal, and there's so many transactions that are closing in the state of Washington that it's like zero value is being added, which I think is really unique about you and your company, right? The fact that you guys have systems in place, not just from a CRM, and you'll talk about that a little bit more, not just from a CRM standpoint, but educational videos online, a dialed-in program for realtors that it's really like, hey, if you're brand new in the business, that you only know X, Y, and Z, maybe you just recently passed. Because it's funny, you'll pass your test. That means nothing. It's not like you're going to close deals, right? I remember when I first passed my mortgage test, I was like, okay. And then soon after you realize, oh, wow, okay, yeah, that was the easy part. Now it's I got to go close those transactions. But before we jump into your guys' systems in your company, talk to us about your journey. So what brought you from I'm going to be a real estate agent that closes X amount of deals. There's a famous saying in the real estate world, 90% of deals are closed by 10% of realtors,
That's
right?
true.
And you were one of those 10, you were part of that 10%. So what brought you from I want to transition over and start my own company, which is a crop ton more work, just way more liability too, from a liability standpoint. So what's the why behind it?
When I first got into the business, I didn't get into the business for normal people reasons.
Okay.
I got into it because I knew I would be in it when I was 12.
Wow.
And after I knew I was going to be an agent at 12, everything I did was to become that. Yeah. And my family had no money, so I had to make it myself. So I was supporting us when I was 16. Yeah. So I had multiple jobs. I was paying for our rent. I was sleeping on a couch. Yeah. And I got a real estate license when I could finally save up enough money, working 5 jobs, taking the bus, riding a bike, to then buy a car and pay for a real estate class. And then I saved up enough for a couple months to get a license, quit all my jobs, and went all in on real estate. Okay. And from there, I just wanted to become comfortable. I knew that real estate would be a path that I could do that in reasonably. I knew I wanted to do something that impacted people's lives, and I knew I would want to do sales. That's the only thing I knew. I was like, I got to do sales. I got to impact people's lives.
Which is unique because that nobody teaches you in school. Like, hey, you can go and get a sales profession. You don't learn that.
Nobody taught that.
So what? How did you get to the point where you're like, I want to be in sales at 12?
Basically, I was fortunate. The parents that adopted me, I was a foster kid. Yeah. They didn't have money, but my father is really, really intelligent. And I went to him one day and I was like, I want to sell military equipment. Yeah. Because that'd be dope. And then he's like, there's too many laws around that. That's illegal. I was like, fine, I want to sell something crazy cool, like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and supercars and blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay. And then he took me to dealership. He's like, and he had me talk to some of the salespeople.
Wow.
Talk about what their life makeup looked like, what their days looked like. And I was like, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I want to live like. From there, in my brain, I was like, well, what's the biggest thing I can sell that's cool and has life impact and I can make decent money at? And I was like, okay, well, I could do stock or I could do houses. And I was like, well, if I did stock and made a lot of people money, when I'm like 80 and I'm going to die, I'm not going to feel good about myself. So I want to like do something that has an impact. So I landed on real estate. And then so from there, everything was, okay, let's get into real estate. How do I do it? How do I get better at it? So when I was 12, I was looking at the public GIS systems to figure out tax assessed values and making ranking analysis method, which I yet now use and teach my agents. I actually learned it myself when I was 12, how to properly evaluate properties, because every agent uses what they call a CMA, or comparative market analysis. Unfortunately, that's totally irrelevant when sold data is irrelevant, like it is right now. In fact, my ranking analysis method that I made when I was 12, of course that was 17 years ago, that is more relevant today than a CMA because it leans so heavily on active properties instead of sold properties. Totally different way to evaluate property. And of course that did correlate with 12-year-old mind. I wanted to get more candy on Halloween, so I actually figured out where all the high expensive assessed value homes were, and then figured out like the shortest routes or lot widths to each of those houses so I could get better candy in quicker time. And then I actually live in the neighborhood that I had determined was the best place to get candy.
Okay. There we go. There we go.
But anyway, I live there now. Anyway, so from there, I became an agent. I ran into Austin randomly when I was driving back home in a neighborhood. Anyway, we started talking, and he had a license at another company, decided to do an open house with me. We decided to partner up on some stuff. We found out we could build a really, really good new construction business together because the duality of our personalities was so different. And so, we started the process of moving 80 plus listings from that office to creating a new one. And the thought process of making a new one is kind of a weird process. Like, I wanted to get a managing license because I knew I at least wanted to run a team, because we were naturally just getting people to want to work for us. Just like, hey, I want to learn from you. Hey, I want to learn. Can you mentor us? Can you teach us? Blah, blah, blah. And we were like, okay, fine. I'll go get a managing license. And that was like a year before. Let's look at the landscape of the brokerage game right now, and where would we want to hang our licenses forever, right? And as we grow our team, and this is our mindset at the time, as we grow our team, we want it to be the best place for our team to be at for the rest of our careers. And the problem is we couldn't find a place that fit that. That's literally what it was. Like we looked at the landscape of brokerages, and to be frank, there's only 3 kinds. We dissected every brokerage. We looked at all of them, their pricing, their models, what they offer their agents. We wanted to go through every single piece. What we saw was there was a problem with each of those as we wanted to grow a team, because we definitely couldn't be at a discounted place because that didn't match our personal brand. So we only had 2 options for ourselves. Okay, do we want to go wheelhouse or do we want to go luxury? And the problem with the luxury, which is where we would lean, is there was no training, there was no resources, there was no lead gen, that's kind of a lot of being a broker. Because they don't even teach you how to go out and get new business. They just kind of say like, hey, use our materials and that'll get you business. Not necessarily.
I mean, it'll be broad, right? You want business, go knock on doors, call everyone you know, and go do an open house.
Right, exactly. It doesn't get granular enough. And so that's what we said. And then so when we set out to make Park Place, well, first off, just even coming up with a good company name is hard. That's one thing that we really, I think, we struggled with for a little bit, actually for a long time, because we were actually wanting to just call the company our team name. We just wanted to call it Ward Homoka. But we actually, we took a step back and said, well, again, we're making this for like what every agent wants, not what we want. And we looked at it and said, where is the consumer behavior today? Consumer behavior completely lives in the agent brand. Consumers don't care where agents hold their licenses.
No.
Quite frankly, they don't care at all. And so we actually leaned into that, and like today, we actually make entire brands for our agents. The second that our agent gets onboarded, they have an entire brand made from them. Like completely custom for them until it's perfect. And but you can't do that. You can't really brand yourself when you're at a company of another person's name. But as far as the fundamentals of the company, we wanted to make a luxury company that offered pragmatic and real current day solutions to building business with lead generation sources, with the best in market revenue share programs. And then we also wanted to be fairly inexpensive. And that's where we created the vision of it. We said, let's be a fairly economic version of what a wheelhouse company should be, while retaining all of the advertising, branding, and marketing prowess of a luxury company.
Okay, so let me ask you. I don't want to jump into specific numbers, right? If you're a realtor and you're thinking about transitioning over to a different company, we're going to have Garth's information here. Reach out to him. He will kind of walk you through what their process looks like, right? From a number standpoint, I don't want to go into your fees, your costs. So reach out to Garth if you have any questions on that, if you're a real estate agent. But but let me ask you this. Let's say a realtor says, hey, I'm pulling the trigger with Garth. I'm going to Park Place Properties. I'm excited. It's going to be great. We're going to have a very, very, very good time. And I want to close a lot of deals, right? People are in real estate. Why? They want to make money. You want to close deals. You want to make money. You want to build a generational wealth for you and your family. So they come to you. They sign up. The contract is signed. Boom. What's their process from an onboarding standpoint?
Okay.
And then what's their process? Because I know you have a fantastic process before they onboard, something that you do with them prior.
Right.
And then how are you able to help them acclimate with a new company and just help with, because a lot of people have a huge past client database, right? And they're like, hey, if we're transitioning, we want all our past clients to know this, and that. So how do you just help them transition? And what does that look like with you and your company?
So for us, it starts with speed.
Speed, okay.
Like weirdly enough, some of the biggest hurdles that happen when you're converting from a company to another is it takes too long to get up and running.
Yeah.
The speed takes so long. Yeah. So for us, the second somebody wants to sign up, they fill out an online intake form.
Okay.
Once that's filled out, immediately within 5 minutes, they're created an email specific completely to our domain that's already created for them, and they're reached out by our admin team, our marketing team, and those are already set to ask them questions on what they want their brand to look like. And by the way, our brand turnaround is 1 day. Okay. So they get an initial complete brand finished in 1 day, and then if they finalize it, literally we have cards ordered right then.
Yeah.
And so that's step one. But on top of that, it's how do they get integrated into all of the systems?
Yeah.
Right? Well, they're integrated into all of the systems that same day. So as far as our training platform and our CRM database, which is called OnePlace, all of that, they're integrated into all of it that same day, the second that they fill out the intake form, through their email that they wanted their email to be that we created for them. And they get access to all of that, and then they get emails to automatically connected to all the people that are our preferred partners. And so it's very easy for them to just kind of pick up and get the ball rolling. Yeah. And inside of our training has access to, right now we have 7 different lead platform partners that send our agents deals, and they're free. And so the agents get deals, like clients sent to them, and then if they close the deal, then they pay the platform. Okay. And so we believe in that sort of thing, especially at first when agents start.
Front and all that.
Yeah. When you're brand new in the business, it doesn't make sense to risk your own money. No. Just take, yes, you make less money, but that's not the point. Yeah. Take the business and then grow that business into a referral business that you don't pay for.
That's right.
And then that's the way to grow. Yeah. But anyway, as far as like onboarding stuff, I mean, it's really about the speed of stuff. I mean, we help them brand, and then from there, we have a media shoot scheduled that as soon as we can. I mean, it depends on the agent's schedule, but literally our goal is within the next few days or a week, we have an entire lifestyle photo shoot done and videography done for short form video content for them, and it's all edited and done for them at our company, and then we give them all the assets so they can use.
So that's a big deal, the fact that it's edited for you on your behalf. I know too many companies, too many big offices, we have studios come in and record, but no one's actually going to come in and record for you on your behalf, right? I don't know how to use the mic. I don't know how to, personally, I'll tell you right now, I don't know how to use, set up the microphone and use the cameras and set up the lights. So we have a team for that here at New American Funding, right? That does everything from an editing standpoint. The fact that you guys do that, that's a big deal. Because every company will offer you, hey, we have a studio, you can do what you would like, but no one's going to actually go in, record on your behalf, set everything up, and just give you the data, the contents where you're able to click send.
You know what's even cooler? We give them the scripts.
Oh, so
here's scripts to do video, and then here's what's even cooler. It doesn't stop with their onboarding. Okay. If our agent ever wants to produce content, let us know. Send us a video.
Okay.
Our editing team will edit it up, chop it up, put sub captions, do everything for you. Done.
Oh, fantastic.
And so
now, is that a cost or is that free?
No, it's totally free. It's a part of being a part of us.
Wow.
And so we wanted to lead with value.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, what does your brokerage actually do for you?
Yeah.
I mean, they keep you compliant. They review your contracts and make sure that you're not breaking the law. But outside of that, what does a wheelhouse company do for you? Tell you to send out more mailers?
Yeah.
That's not valuable today.
I think from like a marketing standpoint or how to help you grow your
how
business.
How are they growing your business with you? Like, because you're making a business partnership decision.
Yeah.
And if you're the agent and you're spending, $20,000, $30,000 to be a business partner with somebody, how are they in turn helping you grow more than that $20,000 to $30,000 by direct actions that they're doing?
Yeah.
Not by things like you're a part of our brand and somehow that's going to get you business. Because quite frankly, if that was the case, we wouldn't lose, 35% of new agents in the first year.
Yeah.
We believe that if an agent's working with us, they're actually in a partnership. They don't work for us. We are partnered with them doing business together. Yeah. And so if an agent that's with us refers us to an agent, and that means literally just saying, hey, call this person, they might be a good fit. That's like the extent of it.
Yeah.
If they ever join us after that, we then give the agent that told us about the other agent 40% of the company dollar of the agent that comes in perpetuity as long as both agents are with us.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
So,
that's like another stream of income.
We did, we've seen enough research that, on average, agents will refer 1 to 2 agents to their company without trying. That's just how the business works.
Yeah, because you're friends with other realtors and you'll meet people that you know and you'll assist and help and you'll go from there.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we know that just based off those average metrics, if an agent is with Park Place for 3 or more years, they will, on average, be referring in enough people so that they're now a real estate agent for less than free. If they're in the business for 20, we've done enough math, like if you're in it for 20 years and you refer us 2 people a year, you're going to be net positive $200,000 a year in residual income. That's just by that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We're going to have a part 2, my friend.
Yeah, we are.
Because this podcast is going long. So we'll have a part 2 on this. Friends, if you have any questions from a realtor, if you're a realtor, you have any questions from a company standpoint of where should I go, what should I do, if you want some guidance when it comes to real estate, reach out to Garth. He'll be more than happy to help you guys out. And then we will have a part 2.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think we should. There's going to be a lot more content to go through.
Yeah, there will be.
A lot more stuff to go through.
All right. Sounds good, friends. Take care.
Thanks.